Hi everyone, I'm Jim and welcome to the review of Folie A Deux, the second studio album by the Japanese band Headphones President. Today we're celebrating the 15th anniversary of the record, so I've decided to go back and see if it still holds up or not. My story with this band is quite simple. Back in 2015 I've been searching for more nu metal bands and this thing came up and I've been a fan ever since. The origins of this band are quite interesting. It all starts with the vocalist Anza, who was performing in Sailor Moon musicals. Later she found those two brothers who became the guitarists of this band. After that they found some bassist and drummer and basically started releasing music. Here we have the current members and discography, and what's interesting about this band is the fact that the first 10 or 11 years of music they've released is strictly nu metal. This band sounds like a Japanese Korn, and it all started with the first two singles, Escapism and Crabhead. After that they've released the EP ID, which was great, very heavy. All of the riffs sounded like classic Korn, which I just adore, but the music wasn't the star of this project. It was Anza. Her vocals sound very emotional. It's like she's half singing and half crying. She also does that screaming technique. Anza is my favorite female vocalist. It always makes me sad when I hear her singing, basically. It's a rare gift to evoke such emotions, especially when the things you're singing are hard to understand. Anza doesn't know English very well, and all of the lyrics for this band were written in Japanese, and then the guitarist Hiro would translate them into English and she would sing them. That explains a lot because the lyrics just don't make sense. It's easy to figure out what their subject is, but the words are just a mess. So if you want to enjoy this band more, just don't read the lyrics. When I first heard the discography of this band, I didn't even know that the words were in English. This reminds me of that Deer and Grey band and the album The Marrow of a Bone, which also had English lyrics, but I couldn't understand a thing, and I'm actually hearing better lyrics than what they've came up with, because the translation from Japanese to English was awful. But the vocals are perfect and the emotions behind them are true, so I applaud this vocalist for creating such memorable vocal lines. After ID the band released Vary, the first album, which I will review in 2023 for the 20th anniversary. Later they've released another two singles, another EP, which was also all pure nu metal, and then we get this album, Folie A Deux. This album continues that nu metal vibe, but one of the guitarist Hiro is starting to incorporate some of his other influences. Like on the second song on this album, he uses that scale that Chuck Schuldiner from Death would use on the Sound of Perseverance album, so it's weird, but I appreciate it. After this album, they've released another EP called Prodigium, and that was officially their last nu metal record. After that they also made a compilation. I cannot even read the title. It's a weird thing because this is an acoustic record with some new songs, but also some new versions of old tracks. So it's an acoustic nu metal album, like Godsmack did with The Other Side EP. That was the final release with Mar, the original guitarist, the brother of Hiro, and this is basically the beginning of the end for this band. After Mar left, Hiro started writing music for this band, and the whole genre shifted. As of today, Headphones President is not a nu metal band. It's a heavy / power metal band. It's hilarious, but what's more funny is the fact that people are actually enjoying it. Since Stand in the World was released in 2012, the band started gaining popularity. It even charted on Oricon, and they are still charting to this day, but these albums are awful. The music is not good. It sounds like a completely different band. Even Anza started doing her vocals differently. They are not as emotional and full of pain and suffering as they were on the first albums. And of course I understand that, because music evolves, artists change, and maybe nowadays they are happy with their lives and they don't need to make another song about how the world sucks and everyone is fake. But still, I do not enjoy those new albums. The production is tight, it's very clean and punchy at the same time. I love the mix here, everything is perfect, message is diverse. As you may know, the album's title can be translated as Madness in Two or something like that. Most of the lyrics are about betrayal, fake friends, relationship issues, pain and suffering caused by the lack of justice in today's world. It's very emotional and personal, but do not read the lyrics. They aren't written that well. Structure-wise, the music is pretty basic, standard intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Sometimes it's slightly different, but nothing out of the ordinary. Musically, as I said before, it's pure nu metal with some weird death riffs here and there. The album starts with Chain. This song has a music video. I love how this song sounds. This is that classic Headphones President vibe. Amazing guitar work. The bassist is amazing from beginning to the end on this entire record. His bass riffs are just great. The drummer is doing his best, but as I already said before, the main hero of this album is the vocalist Anza. Her singing and screaming on this song is just beautiful, 10 out of 10. I can say the same thing about the next song, Cray Life. The chorus is beautiful, the riffs are great, especially those influenced by Chuck Schuldiner at the beginning. I have nothing bad to say about this song, 10 out of 10. Labyrinth starts very heavy, I love that riff. Later the verses are that classic nu metal weird stuff, you know, boing boing boing, weird noises on the guitars. I love the bass work here, as usual, everything is perfect, the vocals especially, 10 out of 10. Refine is another heavy banger, I love the instrumental work here, the groove of the guitars, I especially love what the second guitarist Mar is doing on this record. I think he's responsible for all of this classic Korn nu metal noises in the background, because Hero is more of a power metal player. So yeah, amazing stuff. This track has an interesting chorus because the vocalists are also doing some growls in the background. Besides that, Anza is singing her hearts out. Beautiful song, 10 out of 10. Hang Veil is another masterpiece. I love the guitar work here, that sinister, dark and very sad atmosphere this song has. The fact that the second verse has different guitar riffs than the first one, it always stands out in my mind. This is one of the highlights from this record. It truly makes you feel something. 10 out of 10. Free Fate is one of those songs that has more positive atmosphere. The first 5 songs were very dark, moody and unhappy. This one, especially instrumentally, feels like there's a glimpse of hope. I love the singing throughout the track, especially in the verses. What I've known to do. I don't know the lyrics, but it's beautiful. 10 out of 10. Life Waste or Lie Waste. Did I make a mistake? I think the song is called Lie Waste, but whatever, maybe it's Life Waste. This track is the most calm and mellow when it comes to the first 2 minutes. It reminds me of the previous Headphones President records. It has that very moody, dark atmosphere. The singing is just beautiful and it's just heartbreaking, especially at the end. Later the song wakes up, it's heavier, we have some guitars, some cool drumming. I think that at the end Anza just breaks and she starts crying and laughing at the same time. This is some heavy shit. As usual, the lyrical content here is about fake friendships and just betrayal of your partner. Heavy shit, 10 out of 10. I have no idea how to pronounce the 8th track, but it's a banger, I assure you. I love it. It reminds me of old school Godsmack stuff because it's mostly world music vibe, you know, like those old school Soulfly records, some tribal instruments, that kind of vibe. It's an interlude, it's over 2 minutes long, but it's very nice. I love the vocals here and the atmosphere it creates. 10 out of 10. Light to Die is one of the weaker songs on this record. I still love the vocals here, they make me tear up inside, but the instrumental work could have been better. Compared to some other bands or albums, this would be the highlight, but here it's just amazing. 9 out of 10. Endless Line is my second favorite song on this record. This song makes me cry. Anza vocals, especially in the second verses, are just so emotional. Like I am crying right now thinking about it, because the background vocals there are just so beautiful. They make you think about your life. The screaming is so painful. Like I can feel it, you know, I can feel it. This reminds me of that first Korn album, where the vocalist puts his emotions into you. That's what Anza is doing here. As I said before, it's a rare gift and I usually don't feel music like that. Only a couple of albums can achieve that, like the first Korn albums, the second Slipknot album, which always changes your mood to more angry and hateful, and here it just makes you sad. But it's that sadness filled with anger. You are angry at something or at someone, but you're hurting inside. That's the feeling of this song. 10 out of 10. The title track is one of my all-time favorite songs. I love it from beginning to the end. This song, vocally, it's very similar to the track Daddy by Korn, but it's not about rape in this case. This is a critique of a society that is based on monetary gain. So basically you're greedy and it's all about money for you. You just think about money, you live for the money. As you know, in Japan many people are working in corporations, and I'm pretty sure this song stands against that. It's very sad, the vocalist is crying in the middle of the song. This will destroy you if you're not prepared for it. When I first heard this record and this song came up, I was like crying constantly because of this song. It was too hard for me and I didn't even know what the song was about. But that pain just goes through you and you feel it as well. Especially that line when she says, "You only think about money. It's always only about money." It's just so sad. This is just a mental breakdown in form of a song. I love the bass work here, the guitar work, the drums, everything just works here, and the vocals elevate this above legendary status for me. 12 out of 10 track. Noise is just an outro for the record. We have some vocals here and some weird noises. It's my least favorite thing from this record. I would actually remove it. This way album would end on a high note, which is the previous track. But I guess they didn't want the listener to be shocked by the end of the album, so they've included this one to calm you down. 8 out of 10. To sum it all up, the consistency is stable and the flow is fitting. Replayability? Yeah, it's a masterpiece. I love this album from beginning to the end. I only would have cut the final song so it would end on Folie A Deux, which is just gut-wrenching. Like before I started this review I was just crying, this is too much for me. I cannot listen to this song, it's too emotional for me. This is just beautiful. If you like this kind of music that is very emotional and you've been a big fan of the first Korn album, the first two Slipknot albums, the first Linkin Park album. Also, if you are a fan of those more mellow, sad Limp Bizkit songs like Rearranged or Sour, then I recommend you this album. Check it out. I feel like this band is very underrated. They did not achieve success and it sucks because they deserve it. Everything they've released in their first 10 years of creations was perfect. So celebrate the anniversary by spinning this record today with me. It deserves some attention, give it some love. I recommend this stuff from the bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoy it. That's all from me, thank you for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my other reviews. Bye!